A very good afternoon to everyone, and a warm welcome to another webinar from Psychspace. Today, we are going to explore the topic of the role of career assessment in career transition. Choosing the right path can always be challenging, and it is one of the most critical decisions in everyone's life. This not only shapes our professional journeys but also our personal growth and fulfillment. Career assessment is a vital role or a vital process in our lives, and it will help us understand our strengths, our interests, and values while aligning all of these with the suitable career opportunity or option for us. Joining us today are our esteemed experts who possess knowledge and experience relevant to our topic. Allow me to introduce our prominent speakers for the evening, for the afternoon. Firstly, we have Ms. Priyanka Bhattacharjee, who is a two-time gold medalist and a RCI licensed clinical psychologist. She is currently working as a consultant clinical psychologist in Apollo Hospitals and is the founder of PsychSpace. Secondly, we have Ms. Yeja Chaudhary, who has been a mental health enthusiast since a very young age. She has also done her master's in clinical psychology from Christ University and is currently working as a psychologist at PsychSpace. Lastly, I am Dipshika Kalita and I have done my specialization in clinical psychology under Assam Dhamdam University and is currently working as a psychologist at PsychSpace. So, I heartily welcome all our speakers. Thank you for dedicating your valuable time to be with us. So I'm certain that our viewers are eagerly waiting for this webinar and looking forward to your enlightening discussion. So, without wasting much time, let's delve right into our topic. So, first of all, I would like to ask why are career assessments essential and what are the significance and benefits of it?
First of all, very warm good afternoon to everyone. And thank you, Deepshika, for a very well-spoken, introduction to this particular section, which is absolutely a need of the hour. And time and again, we keep, getting clients. We keep getting a lot of queries. We keep getting a lot of questions from very young minds about career choices, career decisions, and the kind of stress students experience when they have to come at this particular juncture of their life. Considering the target population will be using at least English and Assamese when we talk. আমি অসমীয়া আৰু ইংৰাজী আৰু মাজে মাজে যদি দৰকাৰ হয় আমি হিন্দীটো আমি কথা পাতিব পাৰো কোনোবা যদি এনেকুৱা আমাৰ ভিউৱাৰ আছে শ্ৰোতা আছে যোনে কিবা প্ৰশ্ন সুধিব বিচাৰে আৰু যাৰ উত্তৰটো হিন্দীটো বিচাৰে আমি নিশ্চয় উত্তৰ দিবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰিম প্ৰথমতে আমি যেটো কথা পাতিছো যে career assessment কি হয় what is career assessment and what is the requirement what is the essence of it যদি আমি প্ৰথমতে কওঁ যে career assessment টো আজিৰ দিনত কিয় জৰুৰী because gone are those days when the career options were very limited to just a few. When we talk about just a few, we only had, the majorly the engineering, medical, law, these kind of professions had taken prominence. মানুহে খুব কম career options বিষয়ে জানিছিলে কিন্তু যেতিয়া আমি আগবাঢ়ি গৈ আছো জীৱনত আৰু with the advent of time and advancement of so many things and it's a rush of technology it's a rush of new expertise new skills and so many things put together lahe lahe career options khini bahut bahi goise and it's a very good thing that people they have the opportunity to choose from a wide variety of options for their livelihood for their profession for their career for developing their expertise and giving opportunities for definitely the financial independence career options কথা যেতিয়া আমি পাতো তাত খালি আমি পঢ়া শুনাটো কথা পাতিলে নহব we just cannot limit ourselves to just knowledge acquisition or learning but when we talk about career opportunities we have to take into consideration the the learning opportunities, at the same time something which is going to give us a very stable, or something which a kind of a financial independence to us. And when the financial independence and the skill and kind of interest, all these things sync together, it leads to definitely higher amount of job satisfaction, and with job satisfaction will lead to better quality of life and reduce stress. Stress is something which is going to be there into our regular life. Stress to এনেকুৱা নহয় যে আমি কোনোবা এটা particular subject বা career option পঢ়িলে তাত stress কম, so সেইটো কাৰণে সেনেকুৱা এটা stress, সেনেকুৱা এটা আমি career option আমি choose কৰো. So there is no such career which will give you less stress. The only career option and opportunity will give you less stress only when you are very much interested and passionate about it. So when your interests sync, when your passions sync, when your career decisions sync, and that results into good return in life in terms of your investment of energy, effort, of course, money, time, and you get those things in return, it really gives you a very fulfilling, at the same time, a very something that enhances the meaning of your life. So career option is just not about what subjects I'm going to study when I'm out of school or college, what kind of job that I'm going to do, and how much I'm going to earn. It's much beyond that. It is much beyond that. So to have a good life, to enhance a good quality of life, আমাৰ জীৱনটো, আমাৰ মানসিক স্বাস্থ্য, আমাৰ শাৰীৰিক স্বাস্থ্য যাতে ভালে থাকে, তাৰ তাৰ এটা খুব ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট ডিচিশ্যন হৈছে আমাৰ career decision. আমি এনেকুৱাও বহুতখিনি ল'ৰা ছোৱালী আমি পাওঁ, স্কুলীয়া ল'ৰা ছোৱালী, কলেজৰ ল'ৰা ছোৱালী, যোনে ধৰক আমাৰ ওচৰলৈ আহি পেলাই কয় যে মই এতিয়া যিটো ছাবজেক্ট পঢ়ি আছো মই ইণ্টাৰেষ্ট পোৱা নাই, মই বুজি পোৱা নাই, আৰু সেইবাবে মোৰ আজিকালি স্কুল বা কলেজ যাবলৈকে মোৰ মন নাযায়। আৰু তেনেকে বহুতখিনি ল'ৰা ছোৱালী ড্ৰপ আউট হৈ যায়। বহুতখিনি ল'ৰা ছোৱালীৰ ছ'চিয়েল এনজাইটি বা ছ'চিয়েল ফোবিয়া ডেভেলপ হয়, কাৰণ তেওঁলোকে যিটো কাৰণে তেওঁ যিটো ছাবজেক্ট লৈছে, যিটো career option তেওঁলোকে লৈছে, লোৱাৰ পিছত সেই career optionটো তেওঁলোকে কোপ কৰিব পৰা নাই, সেইটো কাৰণে তেওঁলোকৰ খুব খুব বেছিভাগ মানে ষ্ট্ৰেছ হয়, আৰু ষ্ট্ৰেছৰ লগে লগে আনুষংগিক মানসিক স্বাস্থ্যৰ অসুবিধা বা ৰোগ আৰম্ভ হৈ আহে। আৰু সেইবাবে তেওঁলোকে এটা এভইডেন্স, বা তেওঁলোকে কলেজ যোৱা একেবাৰে এভইড কৰে, বা নিজৰ সমবয়সীয়া ল'ৰা ছোৱালীৰ লগত বা মানুহৰ আগত তেওঁলোকে আগবাঢ়ি ওলাই আহিবলৈ তেওঁলোকে লাজ পায় বা ভয় কৰে। কাৰণ মানুহে যিহেতুকে প্ৰশ্ন সুধিব যে তুমি এতিয়া কি কৰি আছা, এণ্ড what would I say? সেই এটা প্ৰশ্নত, সেই এটা ভয়তে, সেই প্ৰশ্নটোৰ ভয়তে মানুহে ঘৰৰ পৰা ওলোৱা বন্ধ কৰি দিয়ে, মানুহৰ লগত ছ'চিয়েলাইজ কৰা বন্ধ কৰি দিয়ে। চ' সেইটো কাৰণে মানুহে আচলতে আজিৰ দিনত people need to get aware that what a wrong decision of career can lead to. আৰু সেই বস্তুটোৰ বিষয়েও আমি আগলৈও এইটো পাৰ্টিকুলাৰ টপিকত আমি এইটোত ৱেবিনাৰ কৰাটো মই ভাবো খুবেই উচিত, আৰু সেই বিষয়েও আমি খুব আলোচনা কৰাটো খুব উচিত। So considering the fact, the question that you had thrown me, Dipshika, that why it is essential, so that we can avoid a lot of challenging situations in our life, wastage of time and energy and effort, so that we are more in sync with our own aptitude, our interest, all right, our what we are good at and what we feel good about doing. All these things will be in sync if we have a proper career decision. And as I said, that there's numerous career decisions available, and what is best for me. So what these career assessments do, they will assess the overall functionality of the person. They'll assess the aptitude, the interest areas, the career motivators, the career influencers, the personality style of the person, the emotional intelligence of the person. And that is when they will suggest different, kind of job opportunities or career options, which is in sync with the evaluation of this person in these dimensions. So when we understand the person's aptitude, their interest area, their career influencers, motivators, and so many other facts which I have mentioned, when we assess the person in all these dimensions, so the assessment at the end give us a kind of a report which is in sync with the assessments which have occurred in these dimensions of the person. So when these career opportunities or options have been suggested, they are in sync with the personality functionalities or the dimensions of the person, and that is when it is more in sync with the person's qualities. Okay, and that is where we have seen a lot of research has happened, and we have the AI based career assessment these days, which is very advanced method of assessing career and evaluating the different career opportunities available to a person. And that is when it is ensures that it has better job satisfaction, and people also do very it also minimizes in losing the time of getting or entering into a wrong career decision. আমি যেনেকে যিটো মই ক'লো যে বহুত ল'ৰা ছোৱালী আহি পেলাই আমাক যেতিয়া কয় যে মই কলেজৰ এতিয়া মানে স্নাতক মই গ্ৰেজুৱেশ্যন মই ছেকেণ্ড ইয়াৰ আৰু মই এতিয়ালৈকে একো বুজি পোৱা নাই, মই পাৰা নাই, চ' কনচিডাৰেবলি দুবছৰ গুচি গ'ল ষ্টুডেণ্টজনৰ। চ' তেনেকুৱা যাতে আমি সময়খিনি আমি ইউটিলাইজ কৰিব পাৰো, তেনেকুৱা যাতে আমাৰ আননেচেচেৰী বা কোনো এটা বেলেগ ধৰণৰ মানে আনুষংগিক কোনো কাৰণৰ কাৰণে যাতে আমাৰ সময়খিনি নষ্ট নহয়। চ' আগৰ পৰা যদি আমি এটা প্লেনড ৱেত আমি এছেচমেণ্ট কৰি মেলি এটা চাউণ্ড ডিচিশ্যন লওঁ, ত আমি বহুতখিনি আমাৰ সময়ো ইউটিলাইজ হয়, আমি সময় আমাৰ নষ্ট নহয়। So that's a reason why we need to have the idea of increased career assessments and a sound decision made based on the assessments, only because there's so many opportunities of career which people are not even aware, and it's very surprising. And although yes, there is an increased awareness, I would completely agree to it, but still we have a long way to go.
Thank you for your answer, ma'am. You've really put it in such an enlightening way. And I also agree that before we had such a limited number of options for career or choices, but now we have a lot of numbers, but what's lacking is awareness. The awareness is lacking.
Absolutely.
So, this is why we need to
Absolutely.
have webinars like this so that we can inform. So, moving on, the next question that is why or how do these career assessments integrate into broader career strategies?
Deepshika, I would like to go ahead with this question. So, when we talk about career assessments, you know, just give me one. You, okay. So, when we talk about career assessment, we always think like, যেতিয়া আমি এটা ষ্টাৰ্ট পজিশ্যনত হওঁ, যেতিয়া আমি ক্লাছ 10 পাছ কৰিম, তেতিয়াহে মানে কাৰিয়াৰৰ টাইম আহিছে, তেতিয়াহে আমি চাব লাগে, বা 12 পাছ কৰাৰ পিছত, বা কিবা কাম কৰি থকা মাজত বোলে ক'ৰবাত প্ৰফেচনেল হিচাপত জইন কৰাৰ পিছত বোলে এটা পইণ্ট পোৱা ষ্টাৰ্ট হৈ গৈছে, তাৰপিছত আমি কাৰিয়াৰ এছেচমেণ্ট ল'ব লাগে, তেনেকে ল'ব লাগে। সেইবোৰ নানা ধৰণৰ আমাৰ ইমান কনচেপ্ট মানে মিসকনচেপশ্যন বা কওঁ বা কনচেপ্ট বুলি কওঁ, নানা ধৰণৰ এনেকুৱা বহুত বস্তু আমি ভাবোঁ। বাট যেতিয়া এটা মানুহে কেৰিয়াৰ এছেচমেণ্ট লয়, যেতিয়া এটা কেৰিয়াৰ এছেচমেণ্টৰ এছাইনমেণ্ট এছেচমেণ্টটো কৰে, তাৰপিছত one of the most, fundamentally one of the most greatest output that career assessment gives you is the foundation of self-awareness. You know, when you do a career assessment, you get to know a lot about yourself. People always think career assessment is basically about, knowing the strength of only your strength and weakness. তেনেকুৱা বস্তুবোৰ misconception থাকে। কেৱল strength হে গম পাম, মই কিহত ভাল সেইটোহে গম পাম। বা মই কেনেকুৱা মোৰ weakness কি হয় মই সেইটোহে গম পাম। But what people fail to look is that it is way beyond that strength and weakness. It gives you your attitude, it gives you your interest, your value, your personality. There are some tests which also give you certain personality traits of yours. So when you do assessment, when you do a career assessment per se, it gives you an overall understanding about yourself. You know, what are your interests, what are your values, what are your different attitudes, and as a combination of all of these things, you become self-aware of yourself. We always we a lot of people always have a lot of misunderstanding, or a weak understanding about their own self, you know. মই ভাল হয়নে সেইটোত নাজানো নহয় ভাল হয়নে নহয় এই মায়ে কৈছিলে সৰুতে আৰ্টত ভাল মেবি ভাল হয় মই you know এই পাপাই কৈছিলে মই স্পৰ্টছত ভাল বুলি আগতে বহুত খেলা ধূলা কৰিছিলো মেবি মই ভাল হয় স্পৰ্টছ but we always we're not that when people don't have strong self concept and when people don't have this sort of strong self identity and all of these things and তাৰপিছত the future যেতিয়া when once they step into the professional field and they feel lost সেইখিনি সময়ত when you do a career assessment it gives you a broad range of foundation to your self-awareness. Second thing, definitely it helps you to navigate and it helps you to identify a career path and not a singular career path, but maybe a wide range of career path. এনেকে নহয় কি মই অকল হস্পিটালিটিতে যাব লাগিব you know এনেকা নহয় কি মই অকল you know medical বা nursing field বা business field সেইটো বুলি নহয় it gives you a wide range of career paths like কেনেকে কি কৰিব পাৰা কেনেকে কি strengths আছে তোমাৰ কেনেকা aptitudes and interests আছে তোমাৰ and কেনেকা values আছে তোমাৰ which can help you to get a very well suited field and which can minimize the future challenges that you otherwise would have faced if you didn't know that oh this is the core strength that I have this is something that I'm good at and it just comes a bit naturally I don't have to force myself to do it so definitely it helps you to navigate and to identify career paths. And what I also have seen and a lot of people after taking career assessment is that the decision making process becomes a bit clear for them. It it's most of the time before the career assessment and before when they are in that particular transition period and when they are in that period the whole decision making process looks very blur to them. কি কৰো নাজানো এইটো লও নাজানো সেইটো লও নাজানো there are so many opinions just like Priyanka ma'am said ইমান courses আছে ইমান বেলেগ studies আছে ইমান বেলেগ disciplines আছে you can enroll yourself in any discipline you can start working in anywhere but how do you know that that particular thing it also aligns with your core strength with your aptitude with your interest and that's I think if that is something if we crack I think future when we talk about now work life balance যদি আমি কওঁ বা আমি burnout-ৰ কথা কওঁ these things will also somewhere অকমান minimize হৈ যাব বা handle হ'ব better I won't say এইবোৰ বস্তু গুচি যাব তেনেকুৱাতো এইটো নহয় possible নহয় obviously work life balance and burnout চবৰে এটা পইণ্টত হয় problem হয় এইটো কৰা but I think they would be more easily they would be more resilient to bounce back and to work and cope with the situations যেতিয়া pressures আহে যেতিয়া বহুত বেছি load আহে কামৰ বহুত বেছি tension আহে কামৰ they can cope up with it that's what I'm trying to say so yeah I think the broader careers I mean the broader aspect of whole career assessment is definitely self-awareness. There's nothing better to know yourself the best rather than getting all the opinions from other people and having a self-awareness, getting navigation, how to take a career path. And lastly, obviously, it helps you to make proper decisions. So yeah, I think Rishika, that's all from my side. And yeah.
For putting that so nicely. I'm sure our viewers got a really good insight into it. Now, moving on, would Priyanka ma'am like to add anything to this?
Yes, I think Yeja has really mentioned everything extremely well, and I think I'm completely in sync with what she has, expressed. And one thing which I would like to just add would be, the kind of awareness. It's just not about the children, but also increase awareness about the parents as well. Because whenever there is a difficulty or a stress related to career, Of course, I mean, without any doubt, the decision of career, choosing the career, and eventually, if something goes wrong with that decision, the stress created by that is something definitely which is the main crux of this career stress concerned is. But also, there's another aspect of the career stress is the kind of difference of opinion the parents and the children have at the time when they are choosing the career, because there's a generational gap, there's a gap of ideas, and definitely the gap of awareness as well, and how parents are aware, how children are aware, although the limitation of awareness in both these population are low, but then there's also a lack of awareness that there will be a difference, how I will see things and how my parents will see things, or how I'll see things and how my children will see things. There's a difference. So the awareness of this difference should also be considered. So these kind of webinars are just not for the children, students, but also for the parents to understand that yes, there can be a lot of difference of opinions and difference of ideas when this particular time of their life comes to choose a career. Because this one of the clients that we had in the clinic, they're going through the career stress because the parents thought that as how Yeja had mentioned ki papai কৈছিলে যে মই খেলত ভাল বা মায়ে কৈছিলে মই আৰ্টত ভাল চাগে সেইটো কাৰণে মই ললো চ' পেৰেণ্টছে সদায় দেখিছিলে যে তেওঁলোকৰ পুতেকে সদায় কম্পিউটাৰ লৈ পেলাই খুব ইণ্টাৰেষ্টেড কম্পিউটাৰ গেমছ খেলি ভাল পায় কম্পিউটাৰত লাগি থাকে চ' সেইটো কাৰণে তেওঁক কম্পিউটাৰ চায়েন্সত গ্ৰেজুৱেশ্যনত আগবঢ়াই দিলে কিন্তু কম্পিউটাৰ ইউজ কৰা আৰু কম্পিউটাৰ চায়েন্স এজ এ চাবজেক্ট পঢ়াৰ মাজত বহুত পাৰ্থক্য আছে সেই পৰিস্থিতিটোত সেই পাৰ্টিকুলাৰ কেছটোত ল'ৰাজনৰ খুব কম awareness আছিলে যিটো য়েজাই ক'লে যে awareness ৰ কথাটো যিটো ক'লে যে the student was not aware that what I should do, and if I'm not aware, in that case, what should I do? Whom to approach and what to do to create or get more awareness. সেইটো নহলে at the same time যিহেতুকে মাক দেউতাকে আৰু বায়েকে দেখিছিলে যে ল'ৰাজনৰ আগৰ পৰা দেখোন কম্পিউটাৰ লৈ পেলাই খুব ইণ্টাৰেষ্ট সেইটো কাৰণে কম্পিউটাৰ চায়েন্স পঢ়াবলে তেওঁলোকে ডিচিশ্যন ললে ত' এই এণ্টায়াৰ থিং ৱেণ্ট ৰং আৰু যিটো মই কৈছিলো যে খুব ছ'চিয়েল এনজাইটি হয় বা কলেজ যাবলৈ মন নকৰে একজেক্টলি এইখিনি অসুবিধা এই ল'ৰাজনৰ লগতো হৈছিলে কাৰণ তেওঁ একদমেই কোপ কৰিব পৰা নাছিলে আৰু যেতিয়া তেওঁ দেখে যে মই দেখোন নোৱাৰো when there is a question thrown in the class other students they answer and মই দেখোন নাজানো মই দেখোন নোৱাৰো এই বস্তুটোৱে খুব তেখেতৰ কনফিডেন্সটো ডাউন কৰি দিলে সেইটো কাৰণে তেওঁৰ এটা এভইডেন্স হৈ গ'ল ক্লাছলৈ নাযাওঁতে নাযাওঁতে কি হৈছে পাইলাপটো বাঢ়ি বাঢ়ি গৈ আছে কাৰণ মানে সদায় সদায় ক্লাছ যেতিয়া মিছ কৰি আছে কিমান তেওঁ আৰু মানে কোপ আপ কৰিব কিন্তু গেপটো বহুত বাঢ়ি বাঢ়ি গ'ল ত' সেই গেপটো বাঢ়োতে বাঢ়োতে এনেকুৱা হৈ গ'ল যে the gap is so much that now even if he chooses to go back he will not be able to cope up with the amount of classes that he has missed আৰু সেইটো সেই ফিয়ৰটোত তেওঁ আৰু কলেজলৈ নোযোৱা হ'ল আৰু মানুহ ফেচ নকৰা চ' এনেকেই মানে এটা ভুল কেৰিয়াৰত লেক অফ এৱেৰনেছৰ কাৰণে এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ আমি মানসিক স্বাস্থ্যৰ অসুবিধা বা ব্যৱহাৰিক অসুবিধা আমি দেখা পাওঁ
I think there is a internet connection maybe.
okay
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Like even I feel this thing. Like we'll just carry on the discussion. Meanwhile, I'll reach
100%
out to me.
definitely
Yeah, yeah. So even ma'am, I also feel this thing. The whole thing about career, the image that we since at a bacha যেতিয়া ডাঙৰ হৈ থাকে, all the criticism, all the compliments the kid gets, it becomes the core identity of the kid, right? Oh, মায়ে এইটো কৈছিলে, পাপাই সেইটো কৈছিলে, আৰু স্কুলত মোক এনেকে কৈছিলে. So এনেকে হৈ, somewhere I feel that his identity যোনটো হৈ গ'ল সেইটো basically based on others opinion societal opinion and বেলেগ মানুহৰ and what is on the other hand is the kid his own skills his own talents his own ambition and তাৰ যোনবোৰ dreams বা তাৰ যোনবোৰ skills আছে তাৰ যোনবোৰ কেনেকে কম মই interest আছে সেইবোৰ বস্তুবোৰ কেতিয়াবা নিজে বুজিব নোৱাৰে, you know? ময়ো ভাল হয়নে সেইটোত? Because I don't know, like since kid I was always criticized because of speaking so much. Let's just say about public speaking, you know? এই
Hmm.
এইজনী বহুত কথা পাতে। সৰুৰ পৰা ইমান কথা পাতে, but then future গৈ পেলাই she is so well articulated with a whole language that ক'ব কাৰণে ইমান মানে he or she speaks really good in the future. So তেনেকুৱা বস্তুবোৰ, you know, and like I also feel that a lot of time মানুহবোৰে এনেকে ভাবে কি, you know, career assessment টো লোৱাৰ লগে লগে যোনটো ওলাই, which I will be talking in the future as well, এইটো webinar বা আৰু আগৰ webinar কি that is the fixed plan, এইটোৱে কৰিব লাগিব, মোৰ বাচ্ছা অকল এইটোতে ভাল, তাৰ বাহিৰত একো নাজানে, তেনেকুৱা বস্তুবোৰ, তেনেকুৱা notionsবোৰ, you know, parents লৈ পেলাই থাকে কেতিয়াবা. But that the whole thing, the gap between a parent's ideal version of their kid and the ideal version of the kid himself, সিহঁতৰ gapটো close কৰিব লাগে, you know,
Hmm.
that দুটা party যোনটো vision আছে, getting closer and one each other বেলেগ এটা এটাক ভালকে বুজা, that মোৰ বাচ্ছা এনেকে এনেকে বস্তুত interest আছে, মই এইটো এইটো বস্তুত ভাল হয়, so choosing a career path, choosing a subject or choosing a discipline which aligns with that whole thing. Because hetu hole, I feel there will be a massive, you know, decrease in the dropout sessions. Iman jumbo dropouts hoy thake আজিকালি because of the whole pressure and everything. So these are also some small points I think which also plays a very crucial part in the future of anyone's
These are,
career.
they may sound very small, but then they are very
Yeah.
significant in itself. And as I
Very.
said, that they may sound very small, but we just do not know how much the pressure it can incur. Because যেতিয়া parents আৰু ল'ৰা ছোৱালীৰ মাজত যেতিয়া সেই difference of opinion টো হয়, both of them are equally stressed. You know, both of
Yes.
them are equally, they feel pressurized.
Hmm. True, ma'am.
Yes, over to you, Dipshika, to take the the session forward.
Thank you to both of our speakers for this answer. And meanwhile, I had internet misconnection. So, what could be some of the ethical considerations that professionals should keep in mind while administering these career assessments?
This is a very crucial question, Dipshika. And I think through this platform, I would really like to highlight on this so much. The most unethical thing which is going around in the name of career assessment is the number one, the false advertisement and the promotion of calling, self as a career counselor. Okay. Career counselor term has been so much misused. It seems like, career counseling people are doing based on what information the person has. If this person, for example, person A, has knowledge of engineering, law, medical, okay, and they have these knowledge because most of their family members, most of their relatives have gone into these, career options, and they have seen that, okay, my people around me are doing well. So they have just understood that these are the only career options available, and they are only propagating those options. Number two, admission counselors are not career counselors. This is a so much such a, chaos which is creating in the society, that every person, again, the term counselor has been so much loosely used. I think it's very important for the profession of psychology to please stand up for it, and we need to really talk about it and have more add more structure to this particular word, because counselor is again a word which has been very loosely used. So a lot of admission counselors, what they're doing, they are a representative of a particular institute, and they are by hook or by crook, they are letting a student, they are pulling that student to take admission in these colleges. And what they're doing, they're promoting the courses which are available in that institute. Okay, and how they are going to benefit the student, what they say is that, nowadays you get a lot of placements, you'll get a lot of, job opportunities. Like Bangalore and Hyderabad, they come, a lot of companies from them, they come to our college and they take a lot of our students, so even you can have a very good future. But to everyone, it's very important to understand that this is not career counseling. They are just promoting an institute, and they are just marketing for that institute, and they are just marketing, or they are just selling those courses or that institute to the public. Okay, this is not career counseling. Okay. And thirdly, I have also seen, as I said, that a lot of people have got into this particular, I would say, business, because they are taking it a lot commercially. They have made career counseling a lot commercial aspect, and they say ki, I've been counseling students for career for so many years, and when I have asked them back that what are the courses that you are talking to them, I'm mostly talking to them about engineering, because they have a very good opportunity. Because I said, this is not career counseling, you're just promoting one course. No, 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 this is what I'm doing for the past 23 years. No, no, this is what you're doing. You're just promoting engineering for past 23 years by hook or by crook to any person without knowing whether the student will be a good fit or not. Then comes this a lot of education institutes, the coaching institutes, these the what is it called, like the institutes that gives coaching for competitive examinations. So they have counselors within themselves. And whenever a student comes and says that, I'm finding it very difficult to cope, I'm not able to, deal with this. I didn't know that this is going to be so difficult. They'll be like, it's okay. Everyone feels this way, and you will also take some time, and you will also get into the grind. And you don't have to feel worried about it. This happens to everyone. Okay, you do one thing, you wake up earlier in the morning, study for 2 more extra hours, then you'll be able to cope up with so on and so forth. So what they are trying to do, they're just trying to retain the student. When the student has come and said that I'm not able to cope up in the course in this particular institute, so the counselor, they can't let the student go from the institute. Again, a commercial point of view. So what they're doing is, by hook or by crook, they have to retain the student in the institute, and that is when they are trying to showcase a very rosy picture, and a picture which is like, oh, it's okay, they're just nullifying their difficult experience. Okay, again, this is not career counseling, because if the student is not able to cope up, we have not even explored that whether this is because of an adjustment issue, or is it a skill issue. If it is a skill issue, no matter how long this person spends time or years in this particular institute, they will never be able to cope up, right? So this is where again things are going wrong, and it's a big wrong, big wrong. And career assessment is why I feel so much into it, is we are playing with the minds of the young students who have a very bright future. If now they're misled, or if they are well led, that will make a big difference into their future. That will definitely contribute to the country's functionality, economy, decision making, and so many other things, right? So these are some very unethical situations going on in this perspective, or in the realm of career counselor and career counseling. And every person is becoming a career counseling, and what they are doing, they're just trying to promote some particular courses, or promote certain particular institutes. They're just promoting the admission to some particular courses and colleges, and that's it. Or they're trying to retain the students in those institutes, because they don't want them to go. If they are being told that maybe you're trying so much, and if it is not happening, is it, I mean, do you really think you should look for some other course that might suit you better, suit your aptitude better? And once this thing come up, then definitely the student will drop out of the institute, and they'll go and join somewhere else. And this is what they don't want. And for these, institutes, they don't mind if a student is spending 1 year, 2 year, एक साल में नहीं हुआ, दूसरे साल try किया, दूसरे साल नहीं हुआ तो तीसरे साल का coaching. So for these institutes, it's already beneficial. The institute, the situation is always beneficial. So even if the students are here for 2, 3 years, it's okay. There is no problem. But they don't realize that this is, their time is going, the students' time is going, student is losing on their time, student is losing on the important years of their life, right? So these are some of the very basic things. I mean, it's even a lot shameful to call it ethical, because these are very basic human things, very basic human things which are not been well taken care of. And sadly, because the whole society is such that they are running after certain career options, irrespective of the fact that whether they choose, whether they suit best to their children or not, they're just running after it, and that is when entire things are going wrong.
Thank you, ma'am, for your answer. Yes, the educational institutions or like coaching institutions that we've mentioned about, that is such an important issue, because most of the time, in the name of career assessment or counseling, they're actually keeping, they're actually not helping out the students in the way a mental health professional would. They're actually keeping more of a business angle to their, counseling. So we have received a comment. Let us take a look at it. Miss Anung Nung has asked, how can we make our parents understand our own perspective related to career?
I can completely
So
understand.
both of our
This is one of
speakers,
the very,
yeah.
very challenging thought of a student who is struggling. As we were talking about this, there's a difference of perspective. So, dear speaker, dear our listener or our visitor, I would like to say that number one, it's not easy. Number two, if you can at all make or start making things easier, please let your parents watch this particular discussion. If at all you think that might really, give them a different perspective and understand. Or if you think they can come and meet us in the clinic, or they would like to speak to us online, they can please do that. And basically more of awareness is required. And I know it's not easy thing for the students to keep doing it, but also I would just request our students about one thing, that if you showcase any interest, uh, first of all, go through the process of being sure of it. Okay. If at all, in case, the student remains unstable with their decision or remain unstable with their interest, the parents also try to get an idea that, okay, my child is not able to decide, so let me, help it. Okay. So please go through the process. Dear students, please go through the process of being sure of your decision. When I say that going through the process, so whenever, if you have any idea of your career, read more about it. You have internet to your disposal. Please read more about it. Please connect to people who are in that particular profession or who have taken up those subjects, who have taken up those career. Speak to them. Okay, LinkedIn is there at your disposal. Please connect to people who are in that similar career choice of yours. Connect to them, speak to them, speak about their, what are the opportunities, how they have no reach up till there, and so on. Talk more about it. And it's not that, please do not consider one thing, that your parents or your teachers or your friends are the only source of information. Okay. We all have limitation in our own way. And as a career counselor, this is also one of the ethical perspective, that we don't have all the information with us, but our job is to connect the counseling with an adequate source of information, which is also a very important ethical perspective, and this is our professional duty. Okay. If required, please get a career assessment done to be more sure of your, of your thoughts and views. Okay. And if required, please come up and speak to professionals like us. Just not us. You can, Google and you can find out more people, but make sure that you go to, licensed and certified people. That will be more essential. And please make your parents, you can share this link of our YouTube session to your parents so that they can also hear these perspectives out. So I hope there'll be some kind of help, because although these are few points, but this these are the points which are going to go on for a long time, and that is when parents will also start getting different perspectives and understanding. Okay. Anything else Yeja would like to add to our to the individual who had sent that comment?
Um, I think what question our viewer asked is like one of the most um, difficult question to make our parents understand. Like, I would just like to share my story in this particular thing. Like, I had to fight a lot at home, and not fight per se, but I have to make my parents sit and make them understand. Listen, there is also a field called psychology, and there are these things that you can do at the end when you complete the course, when you get the degree. You also have these career aspects. And parents being parents, it's also very cute to say, like, my father ended up saying, "Oh, so you'll become a doctor without an MBBS degree." So I mean, have conversation. Honestly, the one
Yes,
thing I want
have
to tell
conversation. Very, very well said.
all our viewers,
Very well
have
said.
conversation. Tough conversation, hard conversation, ভাঙি ভাঙি লাগলে
Very
কথা
difficult
পতা আজি
conversation.
difficult conversation. But the only thing we can do is like have conversation. কাজিয়া হব মাজত, গালি শুনিবা অলপমান. You will feel like your parents don't understand you. All of these things will go. But then again, there will be, if you skip the conversation, maybe you're gonna regret for the rest of your life. So either it's your choice. Either you choose the tough conversation, the difficult conversation, or the regret or the fear that will stay with you for a long period of time, maybe. যদি এনেকে কথাটো নাপাতা. So yeah, it's very hard. Definitely, I can understand where is this question coming from our viewer. But then again, you'll have to sit with it. There's no quick fix to it. Even if they come to site space, we are also going to have conversation with them. We are not going to do any sort of magic.
100%. Yeah,
We are
100%.
also
It's
just
very important to have conversation, exchange your views, and it is also like, that it's not always that you'll have to convince your parents. You just need to let them know your thoughts. And they would also like to see that how, as I said, that, you also have to go through the process of being sure of what you want to do. So they would also like to see that, and that every I think person, every parent will have the right to understand whether my child is sure about it or not. Okay. So more conversation you have, you also get through a lot of ideas, and you can also brainstorm a lot of things. Sometimes we get stuck with a particular career idea only because it is a peer influenced idea, but then, when we start talking to our parents about it, when we are trying to, have conversation, then it's a brainstorm for us as well. That okay, am I going on the right way? So that enhances our self-awareness also, as Yeja has mentioned in the beginning of the session. So I think it's a very important thing to have conversation.
Thank you to our listener for such a relevant question. And thank you to both of our speakers for highlighting the importance of conversation and communication. And I also think this is a two-way thing. The Students or the children, they'll have to voice out, they'll have to have a conversation, and the parents, they'll have to listen to their child what they're saying. So communicating and listening, both of the things would have to be there. So now moving
100%.
on, the next question that I have is, what are some of the common misconceptions that there are about career assessments?
Prishika, I would like to go forward with this particular question. So, I think the very first misconception that we have, am I audible? All right. So, the very first misconception we have about career assessment, I would like to start where Priyanka career assessment or career, assessment cannot replace career counseling. These two are very two different aspects. You know, career assessment is a tool, is a method to understand a particular thing, whereas career counseling is a very elongated process and it is very subjective in nature, And so career assessment cannot replace career counseling, and these are very, very different things. And though they work together, when you go to a career counselor, maybe they would give you an assessment which is going to, assess your different aspects of your interest and your aptitude. But then again, career assessment itself cannot replace career counseling. These two are again very different, you know. But another thing that another thing that I keep on listening about career assessment is that um, career assessment can predict, success in a specific field. Whatever the assessment has given you, whatever the result the assessment has given you, it is 100% sure. Like यही रास्ता है success बनने का. This is the only career path you have. You know. So while what we need to understand is that career assessment highlights the, um, highlights the aptitudes and different aspect of your about yourself, but then again it is nothing that is 100% sure that only if you go to this particular career because this particular career assessment have given you such result, you will be successful. Because successful is very to be successful in something requires a lot of effort from your own self, lot of experience, and a lot of other aspects. And success is a very subjective term to people. But then again, career just because the career is you just because you did a career assessment and the assessment gave you a result, and you are like, only if I do this, then only I will become successful in my career in future. That is also something very wrong. Some people become too rigid and too reliant on that particular report that they get or the result that they get. What we should understand is that they just highlights and they just give you a basic understanding, comprehensive understanding about your aptitude, about your interest. But the sole decision is going to be from your end. Do you feel that you can sustain or do you feel that you can work in this particular industry? You know, that is the most important thing you should understand about yourself. Then another very crucial, another very uh, you know widely used misunderstanding is that only professionals like who are in their career can use career assessments. No, that is also a misunderstanding. Career assessment, it's a very you can it is beneficial to any stage of your life that you are in currently. Even if you're in a school setting right now, even if you're giving your ninth, your eighth, you just want to take your career assessment so that you can understand, how you are and what are your strengths and what are your, aptitudes and all of these things. You can also take career assessment at any point of time in your life. It doesn't have to be only when you feel stuck in your life. Only when you feel the job you're doing currently is not working in your life, then only you need career assessment. No, nothing like that. You can use career assessment at any point of time, and it will only make you more self-aware and give you a better understanding about yourself. And what else? What else are like? I'm just trying to find, the most misconcept thing that we hear on a regular basis about career assessment. Um, there's also one
If may
thing
I
I would
add?
brief you on. Yes, ma'am. Please go
Yeah,
ahead.
you were saying something. Sorry. Please go ahead.
No,
You
ma'am. I
finished
would
that.
say. All right.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
finished that. Nah, you finished that. I'll
Yeah.
say that.
I would also like to say like there is one side of parents who completely neglect all of these things, but there are other side of parents who are completely, so fixated and so rigid with these kind of thing like, oh, এইটো হৈছে এইটো এনেকে কৰিব লাগিব, তুমি তেনেকে কৰিব লাগিব. There are other set of parents also. There are other end of parents where they also have a very rigid thinking about these things. So সেইটো বস্তু বুজিব লাগিব that if a kid is listening to us, if a student or if someone is going through a transition in their life, in their career, if they should know that at the end of the day, the decision must be yours. You know, X, Y, Z, your parents, your society, your friends may give you all the opinions in the world, but at the end, if you feel, if you think, that you are compatible, that you are aligning with that particular industry and that particular job aspect or that particular field, then you should go ahead. And, you know, not just because someone said it or test on Nikkei, he said, he said, because your interest aligns with that particular field. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. The another misconception, which is also an overlying thing of misconception, is at the same time the ethical measures. A lot of professionals are also doing career counseling without having an assessment done. So when they are doing career counseling without an assessment done, that means again they are either talking about very limited options, whatever things they do, the professional know. They are not considering that career counseling, the fact that career counseling should focus on what is the need and requirement and what will be more aligned with the individual's skills, aptitude, personality, career motivators, influencers, emotional intelligence, and so on. Whatever career aspects they talk about in a career counseling session without doing an assessment is just nothing but they are okay, maybe they're giving information of different career paths. All right, can be considered. But which career path will be essential for this person in front of me, and how will that person be able to decide? It is just like doing career counseling without the career assessment. It's like information we are taking out from Google. But again, as a professional, we'll have very limited information, so we really need to rely on this assessment and the kind of training it gives us, and the kind of it gives us a bank, it gives us a repository of the options which are available. As a human being, it is not humanly possible for me to know each and every career options, and then I'm, telling this to a person in front of me without even assessing the person's qualities. That is inhuman. That is not possible. Okay. So a lot of people are doing this, career counseling without getting the assessment done. It is just randomly throwing information which may or may not be essential for the person who is actually coming in for help. So this is another very important misconception, at the same time something which is overlapping with the ethical aspects as well. I think this is pretty much from my side.
Yes, ma'am. 100%. Like, this is like the last point that I have. Like, it's Whenever we take certain, help, or like whenever we take a guidance from someone, let's just say if you're going to a counselor, you're going to someone, to help in this particular thing that you feel stuck in right now. Always remember that whenever if you are seeking help for career, there is going to be some sort of assessment. Like ma'am
Hmm.
said, there is 100% going to be some sort of assessment. If it's just talk, 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 and if it's just nothing concrete, you're not getting any sort of concrete evidence about something, that is also something where things are not pretty ethical in nature. You should also understand that, because like ma'am said, it's not humanly possible for a person to know someone in just a span of like few hours and like something like that. And and at the end of the day, with this webinar, I just want to give one message, that is, if you go to a career counselor, if you go to any counselor, and if they are trying to sell you a course to push you into one direction, I'm really sorry to say that is not how counseling works. Always remember, counseling helps you to navigate. The other person who's sitting, the person who's sitting on the other end of the chair is not, it should not and must not make decisions for you. That is one thing that I want to, make sure like goes from this webinar. Like, if you go, because there are a lot of there are a lot of unethical things that is going around in the name of career counseling, in the name of, career assessments and stuff like that, because there are a lot of time, because it has become a business at the end of the day, you know if someone is trying to sell you a particular course, a particular something, you should understand that is not how ethically counseling per se works from the team of psychology, from the field of psychology. That is not how we work. That is not how we, as professionals, deal with our client. We always give you the wide range of options that is we see fits for you and that is aligning with your this thing. But at the end of the day, the decision is always yours. No counselor should tell you you should become this particular person, So yeah.
True. That's a very good no takeaway message from this webinar, I guess. Yeja has really put it right.
Yes, thank you to both the speakers again for giving such important topics and such important points you've highlighted. So, we've come to the end of our discussion, and in this discussion, we have highlighted a lot of things. First of all, we touched upon how there were limited career options before, but that is also true for some of the people even now. Even now, some of the people have either doctor or engineer option, as we do have a lot of options, but still people are not aware about it, or they don't want to actually accept that there are other options available. So mostly that happens because we have this culture of getting those two jobs have this heightened status. So we have that culture of chasing that status. So that is also there. Then we talked about how now AI based career assessment is available, but we are still stuck at the few options that we have available that we had before. And then we also talked about the relationship between parents and the children, and the importance of having that conversation between both of them. And lastly, we also talked about how there are certain career counselors or certain institutional counselors who, do business or like, mostly sell counseling. And those things are not helpful for the students, as we would like to help them. But keeping all of these things in mind, it is very important to understand that career assessment is not only about like picking like, okay, doctor, engineer, teacher, like that. It's like a broader spectrum. We keep their interest, we also see the values. There are a lot of things that we keep in mind while making sure that the child is able to use all of that to navigate, or like Yeja ma'am said, to navigate their own path. No counselor or like no teacher or no parent has that right to choose for their make the decision for their child. Ultimately, it's on the child to, it should be on the child to, make their own path. I'm sure everyone had a really enlightening session from our webinar. And finally, I would like to extend my sincerest gratitude to all the viewers and to our speakers for giving us such knowledgeable words and topics. And also, thank you to our constant listeners who always tune into our webinars. PsychSpace also offers career counseling as well as AI based career assessments. And we are also available at every social media platform. And follow us on our Instagram page for the latest updates and webinars on topics like this. And even for your personal help, we are just a DM away. Thank you, everyone, and have a good afternoon.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.